Okay, we're going to do some ink work. I've got some Micron pens in various sizes and a couple of white pens. So this is a 005. It's very small, and I like to kind of start with it, and if I find I really like that line, then I can go back and do some heavier lines if I need to. So I'm going to come in here, and I know my hand is in the shadow here, but I'll try to move it occasionally to let you see how this is doing. This is, I love this. When I found to do watercolor and then outline some areas in ink, I really loved it. It looked very illustrative to me, like a children's book. And I always wanted to write and illustrate a children's book. May still do it. But this is not a precise kind of enhancement to this. It doesn't have to be real straight. Matter of fact, a lot of people who do pen and ink are pretty what you would kind of consider sloppy about it. Do not get a ruler out. This is part of its charm, is for it to be just a little bit sketchy. So that's how I'm gonna make it. You go pretty fast. You do this a few times and you get a little more confident in how you do it. So these are what's called fish scales on little Victorian cottages. And I'm just going to put, I'm not going to be real heavy-handed here. I'm just going to put a few in, just kind of a suggestion of those fish scales, because I really like those. Okay, back up to the roof. Like I say, you just don't have to be real, don't be real straight with those lines there. They're meant to be kind of crooked. And you can go over areas of that you've painted with watercolor, and you can go over it a couple of times. You can come in here and make some suggestions about your shingles or whatever those are, slate. Okay, all right. This is not dark enough. This is an overhang right here, so I'll probably go in with a little bit fatter Micron and delineate that just a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to work on this a little bit more, and I'm going to kind of outline those stones, but you don't have to be real heavy-handed here. You could just scriggly those in and make sure that, your stones are kind of where you like them, where you had drawn them in. You don't want them to stack up and be real like concrete blocks. So, and you don't have to just keep within the line of your watercolor. You can go out of the line and still come back and make it look really nice. Okay, I'm going to outline that just a little bit, because I'm going to go in there with a white pen and kind of clean up that little mess right there. Because to me, it's okay, but it kind of draws your eye. So I'd like to. Now see, I'm the same thing with this lapping siding here. I'm not going to put a heavy line across. I'm just going to put some suggestions. Now under here, this is kind of like this overhang up here. I'll probably go back in and make a heavier line. So that's going to get me where I want to be for right now. I'm going to get a bigger Micron. Here's a 01. And I'm going to delineate some of these, some of this foliage. And so you take these little sloppy drips that you put in with your watercolor brush, and you just kind of go around them. It's the reason that you put them in a little haphazardly. And then you can go back in here and kind of go around them just a little bit and make some darker areas when you put those closer together. The ones in the back I would leave kind of nondescript, because we know that things in the back are fuzzier. But you can come over here and just make you some little squiggly lines that look like outlines. If you look outside and you look at a shrub or a tree, you'll see that you don't see very many individual leaves, but what you see is clumps of dark and light, and sometimes a little bit of a redder green or a yellower green. So you want to kind of take advantage of that. I'm going to try to keep things a little loose here. I think there's going to have to be something under here, because this is too much of a line. I don't think you would see that kind of line under a house. But I can do and go in here and I can do whatever I want with these stepping stones. They kind of went away with the watercolor, but that's okay. You can bring them back a little bit with ink. And you can even outline your whatever you did in watercolor, and that just makes it look like it's trying to make you believe that this is grass. So this is very, very free-handed here, and you'll figure out how this does this. When you practice just a little bit, you'll get a little bit more used to accepting what you do, because you're going to think that it's not right, and the more you do it, the more you'll understand that you just have to kind of leave things alone sometimes. And I think it was Da Vinci who said, go away and come back and look with new eyes. That is really, really a true statement. I use it a lot, especially when I get frustrated with my work. I try to go away, have a cup of tea, go pet the kitty, go work on something else, and then I come back and it's like, oh, okay, I see now. So trust yourself a little bit. Don't be so precious with your supplies. That bee paper at Walmart, there's a pad of it for like $11, and it's 50 sheets. Cut it in half, you've got 100 sheets. You can play for days with that, and it's pretty good paper. It's I would probably, if you're kind of new to this, I'd probably tape it down, because it buckles a little bit, but it doesn't stay buckled. So tape it down. That'll give you a little bit more of a confident feeling and a better product in the end if you do that. So I think I'm going to do a little bit more, and then I'll come back and show you the final project.